is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 726 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am back again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. You can probably tell that we are still working on giving this new studio its glow-up, the glow-up that it desperately needs. It's nothing too special. It's nothing magnificent yet. I'm sure it will be.
I mean, I think it's magnificent. That's just slander.
It's charming.
Right there.
It's charming.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
By the way, I apologize. That's 2 days in a row I've said Crisis Actors in the intro, when usually you say Crisis Actors.
Oh, I didn't really take any offense to that. You're just as allowed to call them the Crisis Actors as I am.
In the chat, Mr. Joker says he misses Mr. Fluffykins. I saw Mr. Fluffykins in your car.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave Mr. Fluffykins in my car because it's nice to have company in there.
Yeah, of course. Plus, I think of these types of things where it's like, what would it look like if I got in a car accident and it looks insane? So it's like, yesterday, as you guys know, let me see if I can put it on the PTZ. You won't be able to see it from that angle. I brought the money.
Yes,
today.
We finally have the money stacks.
I brought the money today, so all super chats, they will actually show with the bucks. But what's funny is I was thinking, like, what would happen if I get into a car accident and just fake money goes everywhere? So what happens if you had brought the money and like Mr. Fluffykins is there, and then like there's a car accident and they're like piling through the wreckage and there's just a big doll and a bunch of fake money, and like, what were these people into?
Like a burning giant teddy bear and burning fake money.
That's what I think about. I'm like, it would be funny to get into a
that's what I think about. It would be so funny to get into a car accident
in a way that's weird, right? That the accident reconstruction people wouldn't be able to explain. I have a dark sense of humor. I can't help it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into, but before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here already. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot of new subscribers, and we welcome you all.
We also switched the side of the room that your camera is on because you prefer talking this way.
Well, the idea is, like, if we're in a wide shot between me, you, and a guest in that seat, I'm going to be looking this way the whole time. So yesterday when the camera was over there, it was like a side profile the whole time, and I spend a lot of this show looking at this monitor or hitting buttons. So
it's just hopefully not too jarring for any of you. And there actually are a lot of new people who have subscribed to the channel since before our brief hiatus. We're at 219,000 subscribers right now. So if you're new here, or if you were new to the live stream yesterday, welcome. I hope you can tolerate us.
We absolutely appreciate everyone who takes the time out of their day to tolerate us and put up with us.
Look, try to make it worth your while.
The more things happened after the election, and everyone keeps talking about saving the country, and everybody's got a rallying cry for everything, and I'm just like, I just want to give you something to listen to at work. That's it. We're just going
to talk about Glicked.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Glicked. We got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. But before we get started, remember, so not just hit the like button, not just subscribe, but also remember to share the video out with your friends and your family and your loved ones, the people you like, the people you hate, everyone in between. The more people you share it with, the faster channels like this can grow. So thank you guys so much for that. So what are we talking about? Well, Keke Palmer is in the news, and we did cover her initially from past drama with Scream Queens.
I mean, she's had drama with pretty much everyone. First of all, the father of her child. Also, Bill Murray, allegedly.
Yeah, that movie got canceled.
Yeah, well, Keke Palmer is trying to make the public guess which one of her co-stars on Scream Queens is racist. And a lot of people are trying to pin the tail on the racists. That's what's going on right now.
They're going to make that movie. Pin the tail on the racist.
It was like, who do you think you are? Martin effing Luther King.
That was such a weird place to put the effing.
Yeah, we were debating, like, where...
Wouldn't it be Martin Luther effing King? I want to ask your opinion in the chat.
Where do you put the effing? Yeah. Is it Martin effing Luther King Jr. or is it Martin Luther effing King Jr.? I think that's the correct one. Or Martin Luther King effing Jr.
Yeah, they didn't say junior, though, so that changes where the effing
junior.
would be.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that because we take very serious topics here, guys. Also, Zach Bryan is in the news because him and his ex, Brianna Chicken Fry, yes, that is her real name, she turned down a $12 million settlement so that she wouldn't have to sign an NDA, thus proving that women can put no price on being petty after a relationship ends.
Yeah, so now she is dragging Bryan all over the place in the media. Dave Portnoy got involved. I have no idea why this guy thinks it's any of his business, but it's a matter of loyalty because Brianna Chicken Fry is his employee at Barstool. I don't know.
So we're going to talk about that.
He just wanted an excuse to make a music video.
Also, Mary felt very strongly about this new Jack Black movie coming out, which is good because that might be the only person in the last 20 years who's been passionate at all about a Jack Black movie. It's just not in a good way.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm entirely scandalized by it, but Jack Black is playing Satan in a children's Christmas movie.
Yeah. Dear Santa.
That's about it.
It's a Christmas movie for the dyslexics like me.
Right. Yes. You feel represented.
I absolutely do. Well, I'm worse with numbers, to be completely honest. Like I transpose numbers.
Dyscalculia, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm also a horrible reader, so it's fine. Don't worry about that. So if you're ready to go, we can just get started. Are you ready?
Yes. Let's go.
All right. So first things first, guys. I have a favor. I got a question for everyone who's watching right now. There are, at this moment, 695 people watching. I need to know real quick, can I borrow like $3 million from you? Because right now, Warner Brothers is selling 10 fully functional tumblers, from the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. And I'm going to need to borrow, look, I got you. I'll pay. I'm good for it. I'll pay you back.
So there are 10 fully functional Batmobiles getting sold by Warner Brothers. I am convinced that Elon Musk is going to be buying at least 9 of them, maybe even all 10. You got to have one for each baby mama. And they'll be driving in a fleet down the highway. From what
I've read, these are not street legal, so you can't actually drive these on the road.
Why? Also, there's no way they're fully functional. Come on, did you see what it was doing?
It's not gonna ramp up the wall. That would be cool, though.
Yeah, don't call it fully functional unless you're actually doing backflips and climbing up the ceiling.
Nobody will ever be able to convince me that no cops died in any of those chases. I don't buy it.
There's just big explosions of stuff.
Well, that was my problem with it. Everyone's like, "Oh, Ben Affleck, look at him. He's like, people are just dying left and right in these Batman movies." I'm like, "Did you see the Nolan trilogy? Cops were definitely dying in those car chases."
So you start with popcorn buckets, and this is where you end up.
It says, the tumbler is perhaps one of the most recognizable movie props on the planet, but so far, no one has come close to recreating the 5,500-pound beast in its proper movie blueprint glory. Enter Warner Brothers, who is doing this for the 85th anniversary of Batman.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know the character was that old.
So it says, almost every detail of the tumbler is brought over from the big screen into the real world. The replica will be similar in size, coming in at 15 feet long, 15 feet long, 9 feet 3 inches wide, and 5 feet tall.
Wow.
I want one. I need one.
I mean, you'll at least be able to see one, right? I'm sure
that would be my hope, right? Now, I've seen videos on Instagram of people driving things that look at least fairly similar to it. So I have to imagine some people have come fairly close in the past to recreating it. But just imagine you're driving down the street and this thing's on there.
You go through the drive-thru to get your I don't know, Krabby Patty meal from Wendy's. Actually, after Tron came out, everybody with a motorcycle started putting neon lights on their motorcycle to make it look like the Tron bike.
Well, that's
that
fine
was kind of cool.
I'm fine with that. Like that's actually a good way to represent your the movies that you like. We need Tim to buy one. We're gonna need Tim to buy one.
But after the Cybertruck, that's way what. How much does a Cybertruck cost?
Chat, how much does a Cybertruck cost? I don't look at the price of things that I can't afford.
It's like 80,000 or something.
Is that it? I mean, that's a lot of money, but
I don't think it's actually above 100K, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I saw one. So I've seen 2 or 3 now out here.
I've seen a ton. Yeah. They're everywhere now.
In West Virginia, I just didn't imagine seeing them. But then I was like, no, West Virginia makes more sense. Now seeing them in Maryland, that I don't know if I buy that.
We have a 20 from
Matt. Says,
I don't know why I don't see it.
Oh, he says, I got 20 on it, friends. Keep up. This show is getting better every day. Keep it up. The show's getting better every day. Thank you.
Clearly have a lot of room for improvement.
My reading isn't getting better every day, but that's fine. I'm too old to learn how to read better.
Actually, the show gets better as the world gets worse.
That's a fair part. Make the world better in your corner. That's all you can do.
That's what we're doing. Also, this show made a massive breaking prediction.
Oh, yes.
All credit to Brett.
Yeah.
You predicted that Tom Cruise was going to allow Glen Powell to inherit the Mission Impossible franchise.
Yeah, so that was my point yesterday. If you guys don't know, Tom Cruise kind of took Glen Powell under his wing when they were making Top Gun Maverick. There's this really funny clip when they were promoting Twisters at the theater. They were doing like the live event premiere of Twisters, and they're all holding their popcorn buckets up that say Twisters on it, and Glen Powell's is kind of down here, and Tom Cruise is like up. The cameras need to be able to see it, bro.
He's like, don't talk to me or my son ever again. He's that meme, except Glen Powell is way taller than Tom Cruise.
We need what we need him to do is literally like they need to like Glen Powell's character in the next one. Obviously, the problem is they're advertising Final Reckoning as like the last Mission Impossible movie and as like a hopes of boosting ticket sales. But what they need to do is they need to make one more Final Reckoning, Final Reckoninger. And what they have to do is they have to introduce Glen Powell as some member of the IMF, and he gets pushed out of an airplane. Maybe he's Ethan Hunt's long lost son.
Yeah.
Michael Hunt.
It has to be. It has to be.
And he gets pushed out of an airplane, right? And Ethan Hunt jumps out with the backpack, and he can't get to him. And he just takes the backpack off and he throws the backpack to Michael Hunt.
Have you ever seen Glen Powell do stunts like Tom Cruise, though?
No. I mean, nobody would expect him to, right?
He cares more about his life.
I think a big part of that is more that Tom Cruise has the money and the power and the producing side of things to be able to make it okay. Like, big name movie actors cost a lot to insure for films. So for Tom Cruise to be able to do what he does in those scenes, special dispensation has to be made for him to be able to do that, because otherwise you don't put $350 million into a Mission Impossible movie in which Tom Cruise is in like every scene and then just bank on him not dying if one of these scenes goes. So he has to be able to make it worth their while insurance wise so that they can justify doing that movie and being like, yes, you can jump out of an airplane every single time you want to, even though this movie fails if you're not in it.
Glen Powell just reacted to reports saying that Tom Cruise wants him to lead Mission Impossible, and he only said, "My mom would never let me do that."
I love him.
He's awesome. Too humble.
He's
too humble to take the offer.
He is.
This is like him denying any comparisons to Ryan Gosling. He was like, "No, Ryan Gosling is a legend. I could never."
It's false modesty. Behind the scenes, he's like, "I'm so much better than Ryan Gosling."
And he when he smiles, his teeth actually make a sparkle, and it makes a sound like ding.
Look, I am the president of the Glen Powell cheer club, like the fan club. I really am.
So you're gonna become the fanboy of Glen Powell instead of Tom Cruise now.
Yeah, it'll just transfer over. Which means that I give all leeway to Tom Cruise, Glen Powell, and Chappell Roan.
I think Tom Cruise always had it going on more than Glen Powell does currently.
I mean,
he doesn't have opinion.
He doesn't have enough time under his belt to like prove that he can do it Tom Cruise yet. It's gonna take a lot longer for that. There's a 20 there from Isaac.
Isaac Cervantes III. Wow, Brent and Marigold tried to super chat, and the YouTube put me through the fascist dictocracy runaround.
I
don't know
an
what that
embarrassing
means.
Question. Is that a real world? Is that a real word?
No.
Dictocracy. If it isn't, I think it should be.
No, but congrats for making it up if you did.
Yeah. So good for.
Sorry,
good
you got
him.
censored.
If you're wondering what Glen Powell is doing next, he is making he's making the remake of the Arnold movie, the Running Man, about the death row inmate, I think, who gets put through the gauntlet to stay alive. But stay tuned for that, guys.
No rom-coms?
You'll have to wait for that. I'm sure that'll come next. And if you haven't yet, go watch Twisters, which was very, very good. And also go watch Hitman, which he did on Netflix, which is also very, very good. Both movies that came out, I think one came out in 2023 and one came out in 2024. Or it might have been that Hitman was finished in 2023 and was supposed to, and then got pushed to 2024.
Hitman, I did not see. Twisters we reviewed, and Daisy Edgar Jones was his counterpart and love interest in that movie. Totally forgettable, but she is actually eyed to star in Prince Charming.
Oh,
with Chris Hemsworth.
How old is she? Is she in her early 20s?
No, I think she's like 30, but it doesn't really matter these days. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is playing Prince Charming, and he's 45 or whatever.
Yeah, but people were saying like they would never cast a 30-year-old.
But we don't even know. I don't think she's playing Cinderella.
Yeah.
She's playing just like some other character because they're not including Cinderella in Prince Charming. And I just realized they like typecast her as the female lead that you choose so that the man gets more attention.
I mean, that's a skill set.
Yeah.
That's actually a skill set to be able to. It's kind of like in pro wrestling, you have to have the journeyman wrestlers who make the up and coming stars look good. Mm-hmm. So the idea is like you do your job really, really well, but you don't stand out so much that you steal the screen time from the person who's very clearly supposed to be the star.
Right.
That's fine. That's not like it's like you could call that thankless work, but it's still.
It's definitely not thankless. You get a lot of money for it.
And say like, but the point is they're going to be well compensated
Yes.
for, especially at the level that they're working at right now, which is big budget Hollywood films. All right, so guys. Remember all of a year ago, it feels like 10 years ago now after election season, we had the absolute, how would you describe it? It was kind of a moment in time.
Yeah, we lived through an iconic moment in pop culture, which was the double feature of Barbie and Oppenheimer, now known as Barbenheimer. And we already know that Hollywood is desperate, but it seems that in this upcoming Thanksgiving box office, they are desperate to recreate the Barbenheimer moment. And it's not going to happen.
You can't.
Barbenheimer, it happens once and only ever going to happen once. And what they're trying to do...
I don't know about that, but like it's not something that can be manufactured.
Well, that's what they're doing right now with Wicked, the musical, the 3-hour-long musical.
Yeah.
And Gladiator 2, which is a sequel for Gladiator, which came out 25 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
so,
20 years ago. 2004, right?
Was it?
Yeah, 2004, I think.
Yeah. So that's their idea of a Barbenheimer 2.0 is Glicked or
Wickdiator.
Wickdiator?
They're both bad.
That just doesn't sound appealing at all.
Yeah.
And the whole appeal, right, of Barbie and Oppenheimer is that you go as a couple and both the guy and the girl get to see
what they want to see.
Their bread and butter at the movie theater. Wicked is for theater kids. And it's literally the definition of for the girls and the gays, but for theater kids.
The problem is that none of the theater kids have like girlfriends.
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
So they got to go by themselves.
Right.
That's a problem.
And they're all going to be like singing in the theater obnoxiously.
Oh yeah, like that was what everybody was saying. It's like you're not going to be able to hear any of the music anyways.
I can't.
So guys,
I will feel violent feelings.
I'm not even kidding you guys. Mary's like, we need to go review it. And I'm like, I got an appointment that day. I don't know what day it is, but I have an appointment.
Like I have a surgery.
I've got to go to the doctor. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed.
Yeah, like I'm literally just gonna like whatever day you pick, I'm like, that's the day this is happening.
Yeah.
Look, you can't manufacture that type of natural mimetic appeal. I just want to point this out to you. So if you go and I looked up Glicked. I was hoping that nothing bad would come up on the screen. I don't know.
It sounds untoward.
But so some like badly made memes have attempted to be made, like this one. Let's go to the window.
Oh, okay.
So you can see that, like, so they're trying to make it a thing, right?
It's not a thing.
Now here's the thing.
It's not a thing.
What would you rather look at? That, or would you rather look at
a mushroom cloud with Barbie sitting on top of it?
This is far more interesting, let's face it.
Yes.
You can't manufacture this kind of... And the other thing is, like, theater kids is not the same thing as the entirety of the female gender, which was really, really drawn to going to see Barbie. When we went, I don't know if you remember, but there was like a yard sale going on at the theater selling knockoff Barbie merch.
Right, yeah.
There was like vendors there.
I mean, there have been too many examples of Broadway musicals getting adapted into films and then flopping for this to be a guaranteed success.
Correct.
West Side Story, wasn't that Steven Spielberg?
2021, yeah.
Rachel Zegler.
Flopped very, very badly.
Yep. There was another In the Heights film adaptation as well.
Okay, so what's really funny is we were driving like an hour away one day, and I just started reading about Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he's actually kind of a really fascinating dude.
Oh, he's a menace.
But he's a fascinating dude. Like I was reading on how he came up with Hamilton. Like he was reading a book on vacation about Alexander Hamilton and came up with the idea for it. But he's also one of those, like his wife went to MIT or something like that. And it's kind of really, really fascinating. But the stage play for In the Heights was very, very popular. But you could make the argument that for both, now I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying you could make the argument that for both In the Heights and West Side Story, it was like early 2021 after COVID, and they weren't going to do the numbers. Like people might.
They also listed Cats. That was before COVID.
That doesn't even need to be mentioned because everyone knows why that movie failed. It was nightmare fuel. But
Dear Evan Hansen, flop. The Color Purple, flop.
The point is, though, is that a couple of those, like there are ones that do fairly well. Right? Like some of them draw people out. And a Thanksgiving slot for this film is probably the best that they can hope for.
Well, one of these industry insiders Variety interviewed here said the industry is looking at Wicked, Gladiator 2, and Moana 2 as a holy trinity of movie-going. It's hard to recall a Thanksgiving lineup with this much potential because there's something for everyone, they say. Wicked, that's for chicks. Gladiator 2, that's for dudes, and Moana 2, that's for kids.
Well, people were saying that people are going to bring their kids to see Wicked. I was like, what kid wants to sit through a 2-hour and 40-minute musical?
Right, and they don't know what Wicked is.
Yeah,
right. Like they don't know what Wicked is.
Moana's the weekend after.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's the next weekend.
Wicked is coming out alongside Gladiator November 22nd.
I mean, look, I want to go see. I've been watching since we weren't planning to review it. I've been watching the reviews for Gladiator, and most of them, at least the ones that I've watched, have been pretty fair, saying like, look, it's not as good as the original, but it's still fun to go and see, and that Denzel plays a really great villain in the film, and I love Denzel Washington, so that might be a reason enough for me to go see it. Plus, I was reading an article today, he's got like 2 or 3 more projects that he wants to do, and then he wants to retire. I mean, he's getting up there in age anyways, so there aren't going to be a whole lot of chances to go see a new Denzel Washington movie at the theater for the first time.
I would have never thought of it like that. But
yeah. it depends. Like, is there like a performer or something that you really, really like, where if they were like, I'm going to retire?
No.
It's just me. It's like whenever a celebrity dies, I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad. Mary's like,
maybe
is it though?
No, if a band I really liked were on a farewell tour before breaking up, I think I would go to that.
But the problem is
that's much different.
Nobody takes band farewell tours seriously.
They always think it's like gonna get an encore tour.
Nobody ever actually believes that the band
they meant it.
Like the Rolling Stones went on like 90 farewell tours.
But that's different because a movie is a movie and you can watch it anytime.
What I'm saying is like it's the
theater experience.
It's the theater experience for the first time to see that movie again, right?
Yeah.
That would be like me. See, John Durham in the chat says Jeremy Johns called it entertaining. He did a really funny review where he says he kept like reiterating the phrase and talking about reiterating the phrase. It's got big shoes to fill. Because it does, and it's very hard to match what they pulled off with the 2004 Gladiator. But I probably will go see it on the weekend because there aren't going to be a whole lot of other chances to do that for Denzel Washington, who's, as a lot of people know...
how old is he?
He's getting up there now. He's got to be in his 70s by now.
Okay. I didn't know that. He doesn't look like he's that old. We have another 20 from VWit. I was a theater kid in the 90s, and Wicked and Rent were the biggest hit on stage. I was also a band geek, but that has no play here. But in the late 90s, those two best liked amongst my gay friends also put a girl on.
Oh, well, we have a girl on today.
We have a girl
As a matter of fact, we've got a girl on.
I don't know. I guess it's just a very insular theater kid culture that I will never understand. They just fangirl and fanboy over these things, and I will Like things I've just never heard of can be so relevant to this very small portion of the population, and that's why I feel like Wicked is not going to do as well as they want it to.
Well, look, it's projected to make 80 million. Its opening weekend, and Gladiator is projected to make about 50 million.
Because the marketing for it has been absolutely insane. They're like printing entire.
There's whole porn. The porn website that got put on the back of the box hit a 12-year high of traffic after that debacle.
Crazy.
And I was like, don't worry, it probably wasn't kids clicking on it. It was all of the articles written about, you know, like, I still don't know if I buy that there's ever been like somebody in the world that's like looked on the back of a toy box and was like, huh, a website.
I wonder what I'll find there. Yeah, no.
I don't think that happens. Look, you can't manufacture this type of success. Hollywood will try. We talk about this all the time. Every time a movie does well, they try to they're talking about making Top Gun 3. And I think that's a horrible idea. As much as I love
Tom Cruise is not dumb enough to agree to that.
No, I think they're already working on a script. And to be fair, Christopher McQuarrie and him do great work together, but it's the type of thing where it doesn't need to be made, right? I don't know if they need to do that. But Hollywood is a capitalist industry, and when you make a ton of money doing something, the idea is to then reinvest that money and try to capitalize on that same idea again. They very rarely, if ever, leave well enough alone when something is successful.
It's a lab mouse hitting the lever for cheese over and over again.
But I mean, look at what they did with Joker, right? They're like, look, this movie cost $50 million. Holy crap, it made $1 billion. You know what we should do? We should spend like triple the budget and make a movie that nobody wants.
About what?
Exactly.
Hot Wheels.
Yes, that's what they should do. All right. Let's move on then. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. Margot Robbie, this is crazy. This is like a week old, and this gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I don't even care that it's a week old because we need to talk about it. For the past 9 months, Margot Robbie has been pregnant Barbie. She has been Midge. And she just welcomed a healthy baby boy. And now she's getting attacked for betraying the sisterhood. Not only because she's married to a man, but also because she just had a child with a man. And thirdly, and worst of all, that child is a boy instead of a girl. So she betrayed the feminist sisterhood, and now she deserves to be shamed for it. As if she had any control whatsoever over the gender of her child.
I remember telling you early on when we started working together, like one of the first things in culture that I found really weird was the idea of boy mom and girl dad. It just felt odd to me that you would bring identity politics into your child's life at such an early age, even if it's not for them, even if it's just for you. The idea that, look, everyone understands that there's unique aspects to being a mother with a son or a father with a daughter, and those are to be celebrated, but giving it a label felt like it was just ripe for being the type of thing that identity politics obsessed people would use in some type of negative way. And that's what this proves.
Yeah, I think that those terms get misused a lot. Some people mean it in a totally wholesome way. Others, though, use those terms in a way that creeps people out, and it should.
Well, that's like the thing. They do use it in a positive way. The boy mom who uses it as her, the people put up bumper stickers on their car that say that. Look, I'm not saying that person has nefarious intentions. I'm saying that the weirdos on Twitter who hear about it have nefarious intentions.
I see gross things from self-proclaimed boy moms, mostly
the ones that
on
are like
social media,
obsessed with their kids.
Like I saw this reel where this mom was like, born to be his lover, forced to be his mom. Yeah. And like hashtag boy mom. Like there is some serious emotional incest stuff when it comes to the term boy mom or girl dad. But they're calling Margot Robbie a boy mom because she just had a son instead of a daughter. And I guess they thought she was supposed to do something about it. They're quietly advocating for sex selective abortions. I don't know. Like as far as I can tell from extremes that they're going to after the election, they're at a point where they're just like, they're literally saying like KAM. Like that's where they're at. Well, they're like 4B all the way. We're not just going to separate from men in society. We're just going to get rid of them. That's what they're saying.
A lot of people in the chat yesterday weren't a fan of this. Sorry, it's part of the show.
Thank you. We have a 20.
You got to add the golf swing into it now. You got to add Trump's golf swing into the dance.
Weary Traveler was
Yep.
that one? Okay. Chronically online feminists realizing marriage between man and woman and having children is normal. Challenge impossible. Yeah.
That's what the next Mission Impossible
They're
movie will
having
be
an
about.
aneurysm over it. So on this announcement on Twitter about Margot Robbie giving birth to her child, one of them said, "Can't believe she became a boy mom. Sad face. Tragedy." This person replied, "Boy mom is more of a mindset beyond being the mother of a boy, even though I would abort. But it's simply not fair that a male gets to grow and say his mother is Barbie. Like, he's not going to appreciate that in a way that a girl would. It's such a waste." And then they replied, "True, we aren't sure how she necessarily feels about mothering a boy. I would say she could try again for a girl, but I would never want to subject a little girl to having an older brother." And then they said, "Real." Can you imagine being this unhinged?
I mean,
Like, can you even imagine being this hateful, like harboring this much hate and rage in your heart?
the weird thing is that they don't understand that normal people are not like this, so they don't realize that Margot Robbie doesn't think this way because she's probably a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why are they making it about the fact that she played Barbie in a movie too? How is that relevant?
And the idea that the kid would be happier about his mom being Barbie or her mom being Barbie than just being her mom. It's like the stories about when Gal Gadot's daughter said to like her teachers at school, "My mom is Wonder Woman," and they're like, "Oh yes, all moms are Wonder Woman." She's like, "No, my mom's actually Wonder Woman."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of these said, "She's a boy mom. We lost. She was supposed to be a girl mom." Like, Margot Robbie is supposed to have the gender child that you prefer.
Yeah.
Because you played, she played Barbie in a movie, and that made you feel validated as a feminist.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of the opposite side of when people talk about the backlash that these celebrities get, right? And they talk about how they're treated poorly. Like, this is the opposite side of like the ones that worship the celebrities, but it's the weird person that you wouldn't want being nice to you
This is a
anyways.
form of celebrity idol worship.
Yes, it is.
That
And
they
it's-
have this parasocial relationship with her, and they think of her as some kind of mother. Isn't that weird, right? How all of these stan accounts on Twitter call women that they idolize in Hollywood mother.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, I mean,
They call them mother.
That's below like every time a woman is is posted saying anything on Pop Base or something
It's
on
giving
Twitter.
mommy issues when people are commenting things like that.
Yeah.
And clearly they mean it, because they're making demands about Margot Robbie's personal life and her family, and basically saying she's not a real feminist if she doesn't abort her child for being male.
So who do you think would she be more afraid of? The people online calling her mid, or the people online saying you should abort your baby so that you can have a daughter rather than a son?
I can only hope the latter, but who knows? She's more closed off than most celebrities, so we don't have to think about those types of things with
She's
her.
not
She
a
just
social
works.
media person.
She just works. She
goes to
doesn't.
work a
She
lot.
doesn't. Talk all the time about herself. She just takes jobs.
I don't think she would have reached this level of stan culture if it wasn't for playing Harley Quinn, which I think played a huge role in it.
Even though Suicide Squad was like bad.
Well, at least once every couple of weeks, I see people like coming out of the woodwork to have some discussion about how the Harley Quinn movie, or in other words, the Birds of Prey movie, was underrated and underappreciated, and then everyone stops caring because nobody cared about that movie.
Yeah.
Like, somebody comes out, they're like,
Well, it was also Wolf of Wall Street that got her her big break.
but that isn't the same thing as like that's a dude movie. Wolf of Wall
Yeah.
Street is a movie for dudes. The Birds of Prey was absolutely centered for
Birds of Prey
geek
was trying to
feminists.
make a dude movie into a chick movie,
Yeah.
and that's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
But the Barbie movie was fully, wholeheartedly a chick movie, and it owned that, and that's probably why it did so well. I just think these people are reaching levels of insanity where, I've said it before and I'll say it again, they should be locked up. They should be institutionalized for what they're posting on social media because they need to be protected from themselves.
Well, we've what it is we've created a society where the base level of function, meaning like getting a job, being able to pay rent, has been
being literate even.
Yeah, it has been automated so well that a lot of people can. Like, I actually make this joke about myself all the time. Like, look, if I can be an adult and make it through the day when my brain barely works, then pretty much everyone can. The actually crazy people can. If the stupid people can, the crazy people can.
You sent me this terribly disturbing TikTok where women on TikTok are sharing advice with each other.
I don't even want to play it, actually. I don't know if this goes against YouTube TOS, so I don't actually
Should I
want to play
read
it.
the caption
Yeah,
then?
I guess read the caption.
It says, remember ladies, something mg of vitamin C every something hours for something days is not safe while you're pregnant.
These are evil people.
They're sharing tips on how to induce a miscarriage on TikTok.
Yeah, that's evil.
This is where we've reached.
Yep.
This is what I'm saying. Lock them up. Lock them up.
And a lot of this, I guess, celebrity pregnancies are a big thing because we were talking about Margot Robbie. There was also Megan Fox is pregnant again.
Yeah,
Constantly.
Megan Fox is pregnant with Machine Gun Kelly's child now. And she posted an announcement where she's like showing off the baby bump, but she's covered in like black sludge or like motor oil or something.
Kind of figured his swimmers didn't swim.
You really did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were even still together because I thought they broke up
yeah.
because like she said something about him cheating on her.
No idea if that's true or not.
I don't know.
They're literally doing the stay together for the kids thing.
Stay together for the kid, and I hope that while she's pregnant, they're not engaging in any of that weird blood stuff.
Probably are.
I really hope not. Can't be good for the baby.
If you have a
Bloodletting.
kid, it feels like to me that it's a gift from God, whether it's a boy or a girl. And
Obviously.
worrying about which one it is means that your brain is sick.
This
and
is
you
why
need
I
help.
hate gender reveal parties. That's a whole thing now. It's not just baby showers. People want to do the baby shower and the gender reveal party. So everyone just gives me more stuff and posts about me on social media even more. But it's not just that. The videos people post from these gender reveal parties are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Especially
A lot of work goes into them.
when the, pink confetti or whatever comes out, you find out it's a girl, and the dad absolutely flips his shit. Like, that's an insane reaction. You should be grateful that you even have a child. That's crazy. I mean, I've seen women react that way too.
I thought it was interesting because I was like, my white pill on that was like, given all the gender nonsense that goes on in society now, celebrating the gender binary is actually kind of crazy.
Surprising that it's still
allowed.
allowed, yeah.
But it's one of the, this might be one of the most concrete examples of why identity politics is just so evil. When you take the innocence of children and you run it through the lens of modern day gender wars and identity politics, it's disturbing.
Well, before we get too dark, let's just move on.
Shall we?
Yeah, it's time to check in on all of the celebrities who have threatened not just once, but multiple times now to leave the United States if Trump wins the election. They threatened it in 2016. Most of them, if not all of them, did not follow through on their promise. But now that Trump has won again, we're just waiting for an update, The list is very long. There are a lot of examples.
There was a great meme of like two Mounties, two Royal Canadian Mounted Police on horseback. Says, any Hollywood people yet? Nope.
Like, they are all saying we're going to go to Canada, we're going to go to Mexico. I don't know where they're planning to go. They certainly are some of the few people in society who have all the means, all the resources they could hope for to move wherever they want to in the globe. But they refuse to do so. They will not follow through on their threat.
It shows a drastic lack of understanding of civics to not realize that you you yourself, celebrity person, could move to a state that better reflects your values. Oh, wait, you already live in California, which drastically, in many ways, is far left and represents your values. Just stay there. If anything, you're just making it harder on yourself.
As far as I'm concerned, if you are a celebrity who made a public statement threatening to leave and renounce your U.S. citizenship in the event of a Trump victory, you ought to be deported in the new administration.
Wait, do they threaten to get rid of their citizenship, or is it just that they're leaving and going to get citizenship as well somewhere else? Because they still want to be able to come back here to work.
Oh yeah, they all want the perks of living in the U.S. without any of the drawbacks or any of the responsibilities. Really, that's who they are.
This is 20.
This one from Brian Bledsoe. Not to bring the vibe down, but I miss you yesterday to attend my uncle's funeral. He was a veteran, and it was nice to acknowledge his service and his life on Veterans Day.
I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your
same from here.
loss, and God bless.
We absolutely don't mind that you missed the show because of a family obligation, obviously.
Yep, and I called my dad yesterday too, because they'd call my dad and wish him happy Veterans Day as well. So I understand, and thank you for tuning in today. And I'm sorry for your loss.
It sounds like, unlike all of these celebrities that we're talking about, you have a basic respect for your country. Yep. So they listed off a ton of examples here.
America Ferrera's on here.
The woman who made that awful monologue in the Barbie movie.
You would have thought that America would have changed after that monologue.
Yeah, she said America is sick that Donald Trump is president again. She is devastated that Kamala lost. She thought the country she lived in was better than that. Also, Sharon Stone followed up these sentiments, stating that it's time for her to flee. I'm certainly considering a house in Italy. Oh, if only ordinary people could say they're considering a house in Italy. I just think it's an intelligent construct at this time. This is one of the first times in my life that I've actually seen anyone running for office on a platform of hate and oppression. Cher also said in an interview last year, I almost got an ulcer last time, meaning in 2016. If Trump gets in, who knows? This time I will leave.
Well, we're gonna have to check.
The stopwatch has begun.
Like I said,
Sophie Turner, who is British, also said she was going to GTFO. Haven't seen that happen yet.
Bette Midler the other day, she's like, Donald Trump wins, I'm drinking Drano. I wonder if she deleted her account afterwards, so clearly that didn't happen.
Yeah, she just made an actual threat to end her own life, and that's considered totally normal.
There's just something
political commentary.
One of the annoying things, to be completely honest, is like when started going on IRL again, I'm like, I have to care about politics again. You
don't have to care. You just have to be really good at pretending.
But it's these people, they're so wealthy. Most of them are so wealthy that they're insulated from most of the problems that the people that they're campaigning for create for the middle class and the lower class anyways. So hearing all of this from them always seems so disingenuous. Not as disingenuous as saying running on a campaign of hate, but,
I just sent you a video where Andrew Tate lists all of the celebrities that at least he claims have pledged to leave the U.S. I don't know if any of these examples are verifiable, but some of them definitely are. Let's hear what he had to say.
They're going to leave America if Trump wins. Where's the list?
Where's the list?
Let's read out all these names. There we go. Alec Baldwin, fuck off. These are the list of people who said they're going to leave the country if Trump wins. And of course, they were all lying. They're going to stay exactly where they are because they're fucking retards. Ready? Alec Baldwin, fuck off. Whoopi Goldberg, fuck off. John Legend, fuck off.
Wait, so if John Legend leaves, does that mean Chrissy Teigen goes with him?
We can only hope. Okay. Yeah.
Chrissy Teigen, his stupid whore wife, who's a terrible person, you can fuck off.
Remember the stories about Chrissy Teigen like sending really, really awful
like
messages
telling
people?
teenagers to K themselves?
Yeah.
I remember.
We'll hold off on the right because he's he's
has some
cussing a lot.
colorful language and
yeah.
strong words for these people, and I don't necessarily disagree with the sentiment at all. But it includes Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, Rob Reiner, Barbara Streisand, Cher, Megan Rapinoe, Tom Hanks, Amy Schumer, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Jane Fonda.
I will say that the one that always surprises me that people care about is Rob Reiner.
He's very predictably
Like why
TDS,
why would anybody care what Rob Reiner thinks? Like,
was he in that one video with Olivia Wilde and Mark Ruffalo where they're like protesting and Olivia Wilde is like, "This is America is not Trump," and they were all like repeating after her and acting like she ate?
Yeah.
I think he was on one of her sides and then Mark Ruffalo on the other side.
Even Mark Ruffalo, who for all intents and purposes is a great actor. I can acknowledge somebody being a good actor while being absolutely insufferable. That's perfectly fine.
He actually has a claim to fame.
Yeah, like I care. I would venture to guess that people would care more about what Mark Ruffalo thinks, infinitesimally more than they would Rob Reiner.
I just don't remember some of these people saying they would leave the U.S. I don't remember Taylor Swift saying that.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
But some of these I definitely believe. Madonna.
I do wish.
Definitely.
I do wish that with this election that it would bring an end to the anti-American idea that this country kind of has operated on for a long, long time. It was one of those things that long before I was ever politically initiated or had even really gathered my thoughts on what I thought of these types of issues, I was always weirded out by how many people my age were like not fans of the country they were from. Now, they weren't even necessarily political at that time in the sense that they cared about a political party, but they seemed to want to lash themselves over being from America because America was evil. And I never understood how living in a place with as many opportunities as America can provide you and as much security as living here provides you would lead you to have that mindset.
But it's the security and the opportunity and the wealth and the comfort that is exactly what they hate about it, because they feel they have reaped all of these rewards undeservedly off the backs of colonialism and slavery. So that's literally the reason why they hate it and hate themselves, is because it's easy to be American.
Yeah,
compared to anywhere else in the world.
That does feel
at least
like
for
a
the
lot
time
of
being.
What it's like is that when you don't face any actual strife and your country is protected by two oceans and the world's greatest military.
There is actually something that rings true in that if you don't face any strife, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Like, you should actually seek it out if you can't naturally face any adversity.
Yeah. Professor Fierce says Rob Reiner directed The Princess Bride. I don't really I still don't care.
That's cool.
Like,
we can still watch The Princess Bride. We just know that he's an idiot.
That's one thing. I do encourage everyone to kind of develop a bit of a callus when it comes to the stupidity of politicians and the stupidity of actors and celebrities, because you lose out on a lot of great work when you the opportunity to take in a lot of great art when you start saying, I'm not going to watch this because this person said this to me. The way I see it is as transactional as it is, that actor got paid either way. Maybe they get some royalties, maybe not, but I don't have a problem with watching movies and taking in art from people who have vastly different political views than me. It actually made me think of something that was really interesting. I've started rewatching Justified for like the 8,000th time. And I remembered there's this episode early on where he's investigating a death at this house, and this lady bought fake Hitler paintings, had fake Hitler paintings made. And you find out at the end, like, these paintings are being bought by this collector, right? And it's creepy because everyone's like, he's like, you should see my collection of Hitler paintings. And they're like, what? I don't want to. fucking look at that. Are you insane? And when they reveal at the end, when he gets his hand on the paintings, what it is his family was Jewish, and he buys them all, and then he burns them, and he puts the ashes in a glass, like in a jar. And I was just thinking about the idea that you would look at the art and get some type of pleasure out of it is kind of gross, right? Given what Hitler did. But the show kind of put it on its head, where they kind of were, the artist or the collector seemed like he was criticizing it first. Well, you know, I can buy these and divorce myself of it. But what he was doing was saying, oh, fuck Hitler.
Thank you, guys.
But yeah, I do recommend everyone go watch that show. But it was just very interesting that the guy buys them all and then burns them.
I think both of those options are unhinged, actually.
Yeah. Like you're almost making your life worse by putting that much time into it.
You either idolize him or you hate him, and that means that you're obsessed with Hitler, which is unhinged. In the episode,
his dad, if I remember correctly, now I could be misremembering. In the episode, his dad was a member of the Reich. And when Germany fell, he renounced his faith in Hitler, but then in private said that he supported him right up until the day he died. He goes, I hated my father. So the whole point was like it was more that
I don't know the context.
It was more that he hated his dad, and that his dad was, supported an evil man.
I see.
See, there you go. A TV show that was able to do a whole episode about Hitler that somehow would have been more entertaining and less preachy than the stuff we get today.
I also want to show Kathy Griffin's explanation for why she is not going to leave the U.S. as she promised.
She looks like a Bratz doll drunk aunt.
She looks terrifying.
She does.
The face filter is a lot.
Okay, so I am responding to a bunch of the comments that I've been getting. Look, sometimes I read the comments. Sometimes my security folks advise me to not read them. But I'm not...
Those people are smart.
...leaving the country. All right? I never said that. I was never one of these celebrities, D-list or otherwise, that was like, and if Trump gets reelected, I'm leaving the country and I'm going here and I'm going to do this. Obviously, I didn't want him to win. But if you guys know my story at all, and if you don't, just Google Kathy Griffin, Donald Trump. I've already tussled with him.
I'd rather not.
I've tussled with him 7 years ago, and I prevailed. And I, just played Carnegie Hall 2 weeks ago. And by the way, literally kissed the stage. There's a big lipstick mark that's still there probably.
That's because your lips are huge, because they're fake.
And... what's going to happen now, especially with Project 2025, is yet to be seen how much they're going to do of it. But I definitely suggest that you read Project 2025. It's not that difficult of a read at all. It's not a book. But I have had the knock.
Neither was the Parental Rights and Education Bill, which was 7 pages long, but nobody took the time to read that either.
At the door. So don't come at me and don't be talking to me about, you should be so scared, Kathy, and I'm sure you're packing your bags.
Yeah.
These people are irredeemably crazy.
I can't.
I actually feel bad for them.
I don't know. I would give a lot of respect to the ones that do. If one day Whoopi Goldberg one day she's just on the other side of the Canadian border and she's like, bye, and
I would
leaves,
respect it. I really
would have more respect
but
for that.
None of them ever do follow through on that promise because they get too confident. They get too confident that they're going to win, and it didn't happen this time.
All right. What would you like to see, cringe or cute of the day?
You decide today.
Chair just made an appearance. Hello, Chair.
Hi, Chair.
Hello, other Chair. All right. 2 chairs in one day. All right, we'll do cringe first.
Right.
By the way, actually, before we do that, guys, would you please submit your cute of the days? Again, I'm trying to rebuild up an entire collection of your pets to show off to everyone who's watching. So tag me and the show on Twitter at Brett Dasovic, and then use the hashtag PCCPets, hashtag cute of the day, and I will get them in the queue. But we're doing that first, so. Let's do cringe and we'll get it out of the way. Do you want to give anybody a preface as to what this is?
Yesterday, we watched a very awkward interaction in a Walmart, and now awkward interactions in an elevator, I think, is even worse because you can't escape.
Okay. Unknown, I was going to make that joke, but I didn't.
Okay.
Just around here.
Anywhere.
You'd think here, right? You first.
Not in public.
JK, LOL. Want to see if we could out-laugh each other?
No.
First date?
First date?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Are you two
No.
dating? Oh.
Actually, it's my boyfriend's mom.
Oh. Children behave. That's what they say when we're together. And watch how you play. They don't understand, and so we're running just as fast as we can.
I hate everything about it. I hate it. That guy's a menace.
What would you do if you were one of those people?
I would roll my eyes and then leave. I hate people like that. Both of the ones you've shown the last 2 days are awful.
I'm surprised that like nobody got aggressive and started trying to fight him.
He would deserve that. He would absolutely deserve that.
Maybe.
Like this is the type of stuff that social media has like bolstered heavily.
Just people being menaces.
Yeah, it's
with no respect.
He's not exactly Johnny Somali, but he's bad. He's bad.
At least you're not actually trying to get up in people's personal space, but
all right, let's cleanse things here.
you're using them for content, which is almost worse.
All right. Dandemonium says, the life of Bella in Salem. Bella is a territorial female with a feral mindset, longtime resident and homeowner. And Salem, the male black cat, reincarnate of the late Mr. Kitty, new resident of 2 months, basically a dog cat. To be continued.
Wow. When I heard territorial female with a feral mindset, I felt seen.
We're going through this at home right now because of the new cat that we have of Toast. So Chloe and Mocha have actually who barely before ever interacted. They would stay in their own corners of the home, and if God forbid they had to cross through a doorway at the same time, Chloe would hiss at Mocha and claws out. Now, because both of them don't like Toast or seemingly don't like Toast, they're best friends. Well, no, so we're leaving Toast in a separate part of the apartment for the time being, and we let them interact, individually once in a while and to get them used to each other. But now Chloe and Mocha just they don't necessarily hang out, but they can walk by each other without their claws coming out. So enemy of my enemy
literally
is my friend.
Yeah.
So
keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Status, humans. I am the darkness that has taken over the upstairs. Fear me.
Cute.
That is a very cute cat right there. All right. Let's do one more here. Again, guys, you should submit them over there. From Cookie Don says, meditating.
Looks very peaceful.
That is amazing.
Cute.
And adorable. All right. Let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? Keke Palmer.
Yeah. An actress named Keke Palmer has started a game of pin the tail on the racist because recently in an interview, she revealed that one of her co-stars on the show Scream Queens said something very aggressive and racist to her years ago. Now she refuses to name who it is because she just wanted us to all have fun trying to guess which one it was. So now they're all under fire for no reason whatsoever other than Keke Palmer wanted to be petty. So here's what she recalled as the racist remark from her co-star that she called the name Brenda. This is just anonymous. Brenda told her, Keke, literally just don't. Who do you think you are, Martin effing Luther King? After Keke tried to calm her during a clash with another colleague by saying everyone should have fun and respect each other. So because she tried to stop a workplace spat, a workplace disagreement, this co-star of hers, Brenda, asked her, who do you think you are, Martin effing Luther King?
You know what this is, right? It's not racism. It's literally just one person takes a different approach to the workplace and to their job than the other person.
It's
this
like,
happens
okay,
in every office.
What if Keke Palmer were like Indian or something? Like, would that mean if someone said Martin Luther King that they were still being racist, or are they just referring to somebody who advocates for peace? I don't know.
Who are you, Mahatma frickin' Gandhi?
Right? Would they say who do you think you are, Gandhi, and that's racist?
Are you kidding me? All that means is they should feel more seen. She did race specific examples.
I don't know. I don't agree with the placement of the effing. I think it should be Martin Luther effing King.
I agree.
Jr. But there was not even a junior there. She also called out Ryan Murphy, who was the showrunner of Scream Queens. She said Ryan Murphy called her unprofessional and, quote, ripped into her after she didn't show up on set during her day off. He said, I've never seen you behave like this. I can't believe you, out of all people, would do something like this.
Why would you not come in on your day off?
Ryan Murphy does seem like a tool.
Yeah.
Just a real piece of work, but he gets away with it because he's good at his job.
Yeah, like actually Ryan Murphy is a great example of meritocracy.
Yes.
Where,
but you could also call it patriarchy and racism if you wanted to. White privilege.
I guess.
If you really wanted to twist it that way, you could get away with it.
But he's gay, right?
Is he?
Is he gay? And therefore he falls
Is that why he loves making all of his shows super explicit?
I could be completely wrong about that. I don't know if he's The point is he likes to make content that does really, really well. And when you do well and when your shows draw big numbers, you're allowed to get away with more stuff.
You might be wondering why Keke Palmer revealed these details from the set of Scream Queens many, many years after the show went off the air. It's because she's trying to sell a book, which is always the case. Someone is always trying to peddle their memoir to you, and you shouldn't buy it.
They always save it for right when the memoir's about to come out.
And
like,
right when the money's drying up, they're like, you know what I could do? I could sell
her
a
money
memoir.
Her money is she's doing plenty well.
Well, this says
she's making bank.
She's sharing more of her story with her new book, a memoir/self-help hybrid called Master of Me, The Secret to Controlling Your Narrative.
This just feels like an exercise in narcissism to me.
Quote, I have always been an observer of myself for years at the mercy of others. Not anymore. She has been portrayed over the years as the poor little black girl whose parents used her for money, the teenager who never had a childhood because she was a Nickelodeon star.
The woe is me around being a child actor.
And now she's trying to break through that narrative by talking shit about her colleagues.
People will have a lot of sympathy for you if you're a child star who had something awful happen to you at the hands of someone in Hollywood. But if all your claim is like, I didn't have a lot of free time because I was off acting, people are going to be like, what do you want me to do? Cry about it?
Here's an excerpt from the memoir. So here I am, starring in a movie where I'm literally playing a heroine with one of the biggest directors of our generation. But I've got people telling me my career isn't as good as someone else's because of the complexion of my skin. No, babe, I won't let you project that onto me.
Well, okay then.
And she's saying this because many people have compared her and her career to that of Zendaya,
who is
another former child star from the Disney Machine.
They're both big stars, though. I mean,
Zendaya is more successful because she has a lighter skin tone, Brett. And there's no way you can falsify that claim, so it's true.
I look at Zendaya. I've yet to see like a good performance from her.
Actually, I agree. I don't think she's a talented actress.
Like, she was in Spider-Man movies that I enjoyed, but she just kind of played the same.
But she never grew out of Disney acting. That was the problem. She always acts as if there is a laugh track.
Maybe my problem is that I haven't seen Euphoria, and I would love Euphoria. I don't know.
But she acts like that in Euphoria too. Everyone said that she was the only cast member on Euphoria who delivered lines as if every time she did, there was supposed to be a laugh track going off afterwards.
I mean, that's on the director for not coaching her to not
There's also the fact that she can only make one facial expression. I'll stop talking smack about Zendaya, but people are taking guesses as to who on the Scream Queens cast this could be. The first guess is obviously Emma Roberts. She's a mainstay on the show.
Do you want to explain the why that is? Why people would assume Emma Roberts?
Well, first off, she plays Chanel Oberlin in Scream Queens, who is an unapologetic bitch. And I love that character. And I think that you need to watch Scream Queens, Brett. Like, I've been telling you, you would love it.
Love to get around to that.
And you would love her character. But Emma Roberts has been called out for alleged racist and transphobic comments in the past from another colleague, Angelica Ross, a trans actor. Allegedly, on the set of American Horror Story, the director came over to Angelica Ross and Emma Roberts, who were in the middle of a playful disagreement, and the director says, "All right, ladies, settle down, get to your marks." And Emma Roberts looks to Angelica Ross, the trans actor, and says, "Don't you mean lady?" And then takes her shirt or whatever she was wearing, her jacket, and goes like this.
She can just say she was method acting.
Yeah, she was just method acting as whoever her character was. Angelica Ross did not take kindly to that and went on a rant on Instagram. This was only a year ago when this happened. So Emma Roberts has been on thin ice. But actually, Keke Palmer still follows Emma Roberts on Instagram.
So it's not her, it's Lea Michele?
They think it's Lea Michele. I only know her from Glee.
Look, this is not gender specific anymore, but it feels like we no longer live in a time period where there's any type of discernment in these professions, or there's any type of mum is the word. Nobody keeps it to themselves. Everyone has to spill everything as soon as it's done. Whereas back in the day, it felt like there was a modicum of professionalism that said, look, it wasn't the best experience, but for the sake of not rocking the boat and risking my future job opportunities, I'm going to keep it to myself. Because you know what? If I hold on to it, all that is bringing bad feeling into my life anyways. I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, like, "But did you die though?" Like, that's really my mindset when it comes to somebody saying mean words to you. But did you die though? Like, is this the end of the world? If not, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, you would
like share it with your friends and family in private, I guess, if you feel the need to bitch about something. But in general, save it from the public, because you're going to get a bad reputation amongst people in the industry who don't want to walk on eggshells during every scene cut and have to worry about what's going to be said after the fact. The only problem is that idea, the idea of the professionalism that requires you to have a little bit of faith in just what will come in the future, meaning that you'll get more job opportunities if you keep it to yourself, is that it runs headlong into victim complex, which is also a great way to get work these days. And like you said, if you're advertising a book, you can sell this stuff. Maybe the rule should be that you get one. You can write one book, one time, and that's the chance you get to spill all the garbage.
Right.
But you can't do it till you're over the age of 65.
Yeah, I mean, at least gather up some more stories to tell before you write a book.
Yeah, like who wants to have a mediocre, salacious book?
You know, I think that they do just get rewarded for throwing tantrums like toddlers. It's very self-indulgent. Writing a memoir / self-help book when your own life is clearly a mess and you're not able to have professional or personal relationships work out. It's incredibly self-indulgent and immature. So.
I mean, but that's the way Hollywood is, right?
Keke Palmer she seems annoying as hell. That's the impression that she gives.
I would just like to, I guess the problem is like all those actors still exist, the ones who keep it to themselves, but you don't hear about it because they're not out there making all of the complaints.
Like Margot Robbie, for instance.
She's probably got some doozies.
Seasoned professional.
I am sure she has got some great stories about awful people in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Right?
But she chooses not to tell them because
like
she
she's
has
probably like
a little thing called discretion.
She's like, I was on the set of Barbie and you should have heard the way that Will Ferrell was talking to me. You know?
I'm sure, yeah, plenty of interactions like that.
Yeah.
But sharing them is not what professional adults do.
Just feels like social media was more of a mistake every single day.
Just conversations that you were not supposed to be privy to at all.
Yep. All right.
All right, let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. Taco Bell has retro cups out right now with all their old menu items. Let's go.
I saw that. So they finally release the retro menu. I'm not going to lie. That kind of like, I don't like that idea. Because
Really?
I'll tell you why. It's like in my brain, I'm like, I don't want to eat something from the 60s. How long has it been sitting in a freezer? I know that that's not what happened. But in my brain, I'm like, I don't want to eat something.
Well, it's like if you took it off the menu, you probably did that for a reason, and it's because it's not that good.
Look, good product placement in movies is also a lost art. So good cups from a store. Like we made a short recently where I talked about the old Batman cups from McDonald's. I still have those, like the ones from Batman Returns and the ones from Batman Forever, the mugs and the cups. And as we've learned from Wicked, great product placement for movies is just a lost art these days.
Well, they got the Stanley Cups right
Yeah.
for Wicked.
Why are they
Everything
so
else
expensive?
was a miss.
Why are they so damn expensive?
Stanley Cups?
Yeah. They made of gold
how
or something?
expensive is like this? I don't know how much it cost because it was a gift.
We went through a Target the other day and they
Is
were
it like $70?
No, I mean they weren't that expensive. They're $40, but $40 is $40. I don't have $40 to spend on a cup.
Well, it is really effective.
In this economy?
It's really effective at keeping the ice frozen.
Okay.
So it actually is worth it for me. I just don't have one that has a handle because I feel like that's infantilizing.
So you have to have one that you have to actually carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potatoes for Seamus said, how many crisis parties for Mary to wear a Handmaid's Tale outfit on PCC? Come on, chat. Let's go. Hi, Brett, Mary, and of course, how could we forget Chair?
We got both chairs here today.
Should I wear the Handmaid's Tale outfit
You should.
on the show? How many crisis parties?
That's up to you.
do we do?
Like 10? 10?
If we reach, how many are we at right now?
We're at 2.
If we get 10 today, I'll wear it on the show.
Okay.
Shane H. Wilder said they don't make them that small potatoes. They only come in size 2XL circus tent.
Well, no, the 2XL circus tent ones are the ones that are sold out.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, the size small
They'll have
will
your
still be
size.
available. Emil said money. Thank you for the money. Shane H. Wilder said Mr. Fluffykins allows Mary to use the HOV lane. Oh, what does that stand for again?
I mean, it's the carpool lane, but I don't know what that stands for.
People put like dummies in the passenger seat.
Get caught, get in trouble doing that.
Well, I'm not trying to get in trouble. Goodness. That's Rodeo said proud Zach Bryan hater from day one. Why though? What did he do? So it seems like a lot of people really hate Zach Bryan, and I just didn't catch on to what he ever did. Super Guy CRT sent us a 20 saying, where are the bears? They are in my home and in my car. They're not in the studio because we obviously have less space behind us now.
Yeah.
This is like a shorter room.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think there was a place to put them. And you'd have to retire them at some point.
We could hang them from the ceiling.
That would be really disturbing, actually. We're not going to do that.
Well, we'll hang them by the arms, not by the...
So we're not going to do that. Weird. T-Dog said, is Jack Black secretly a Satanist? I don't think so.
No.
He's just playing Satan in a movie because he doesn't think Satan is real, which is maybe worse. Pop Culture Junkie said not signing an NDA, future book deal in the works.
I mean,
well,
how about this? You take the $12 million and then you don't even have to write the book.
Since you mentioned the NDA, I guess we should get into the next topic. Country star Zach Bryan is going through an extremely messy public breakup with an influencer named Brianna Chicken Fry. That is not actually her name, but that's what we're going to call her for the purposes of this segment. It turns out, as was revealed on the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy, Brianna Chicken Fry turned down $12 million of hush money from Zach Bryan just so that she could go out publicly talking about his alleged emotional abuse. Just so that she could be petty and talk about their relationship after it was over. Just so that she could expose him to her followers.
Nothing of this will make a difference in his career at all. He's going to be just fine.
I mean, yeah, he's done cancelable things before. The last time we talked about him was because he drunk tweeted a diss at Taylor Swift.
His apology on that was one of the most embarrassing. His man
and then
card.
apologized.
His man card was revoked.
I mean, one thing is for sure, we don't know about the, truth of any of these allegations of abuse. One thing is for sure is that Zach Bryan is a drinker. And yeah, maybe he behaves erratically when he's drinking. Yeah. But let's take a look at this clip, because if you were unaware, Brianna Chicken Fry works for Barstool Sports. Dave Portnoy is the CEO and her boss. And he has taken Brianna Chicken Fry's side very publicly, very strongly. And he is talking crazy smack about Zach Bryan right now, trying to amplify all the bad headlines about him.
I have no problem with him taking her side.
He's just loyalty to the employees all the way.
I have no problem with that at all.
So let's take a look at this clip where she explains and answers his questions.
I just want to say, if you're friends with someone, longtime friends with someone, you just take their side.
You just do.
You just do. You don't say, "Oh, let me look at both sides." No, you stand by.
Okay, it depends on what your friend did.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he's like, "Oh, actually, I gotta look at what happened," no.
Well, okay.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Brianna was offered basically a payout to sign an NDA to not talk about the breakup, things that happened, and it's a shit ton. $12 million is what it ended up being. And I was going back and forth with her a lot.
Me and Dave even texted and it was like we can't tell Bree not to.
Turning down $12 million is
it's crazy.
I sat on the back
What if he was like, "I'll match it if you let me make content out of this"?
Oh yeah, that would up the ante.
Of the Duxbury house that he bought for us to live in next to my family and have a family in. And I sat on that back porch with my aunt and we looked out at the water and we looked at this fucking $10 million house, and I'm like, for what? I'm gonna get all these millions and just to have a backyard to sit in and thank Zach for? It was never about the money. I was with the dude because I loved the dude. Everything glamorous, rich, or fucking cool about him was the shit that I hated about him, or I hated being with him for.
Brianna was offered basically.
Yeah, and in this other clip, this person posted her explanation of one of their massive fights. I don't know. Okay, here's the caption. "It makes me sick to my stomach listening to Brianna Chicken Fry talk about the emotional abuse she went through with Zach Bryan. I hope everyone sees this. Stop supporting him. You don't deserve the fame or money. Just straight trash of a human." Now, based on that caption, I don't know what I expected to be in this video, but it certainly wasn't as unserious as what you're about to hear.
He comes to my birthday and he gets there and he's all kind of weird. He's acting funny.
He was acting
weird?
weird?
I'm like, whatever. He
Hate
just
when
got
that
off tour.
happens.
It's always an excuse.
Red flag.
Something's going on. And the night starts and we all sit around the fire and it's pretty chill. It's actually really chill. It's all of my family and my friends, and we're sitting around the fire and he just starts doing what he does, throwing jabs. And I'm like, what the fuck? From across the fire, throwing jabs at my friends and calling people idiots. And I'm like, okay, it's 11:30. I'm gonna go to bed before. I was so excited. It was gonna be my birthday at midnight. We're gonna do the champagne or whatever. I'm like, I gotta go to bed before my birthday. Hopefully he will follow me to bed. So I'm like, good night, guys. I love you. Everyone's like, Bree, what the fuck? Why are you going to bed? It's your birthday in 10 minutes. I'm like, I got to go to bed. I'm like, Zach, let's go to bed. He doesn't follow me. I go upstairs. I go to sleep and I wake up probably an hour and a half later to screaming. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I go downstairs into the basement of this house and it's all my girlfriends crying and they're all in it. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? What's going on? And then I look outside and I have my aunt trying to control Zach. And there's a recording of all of this that
turning down $12 million for this story is fucking crazy.
For this
can never be out. Basically, Zach we're all hanging around the fire and I guess he stood up at the fire and just starts screaming at my friends. You're not going to be anything. You're a fucking loser. Just the most horrible shit. You're never gonna make it. You live off of other people. Just crazy out of nowhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? But when Zach's in this zone, there's no...
You wouldn't last 5 minutes in the hell I was raised in.
In the asylum I was raised in.
So my aunt's trying to figure it out, whatever. I bring him up to bed. He smashes glass. Wake up in the morning. I'm like, you have to leave, Zach. Like, you have to apologize. Like, this is crazy. And like, they didn't squash it, obviously, but it was like, we'll be civil today so that Bree can have one day. And ever since then, it was just awful. And Zach, every night, like, I would be trying to go to sleep on the bus and he would just come in and just start recording me and be like, is it okay if I'm recording you, since your friends fucking record me and everyone fucking around you records me all the time? And he would just record. I have the craziest videos. Maybe that's why the $12 million is involved, because I have a lot of shit that I'm never going to put out there because it's embarrassing for me and I don't want.
Okay.
I obviously have not done a deep dive into Zach Bryan and Brianna Chicken Fry's relationship, so I don't know all of the details, but what I've heard so far sounds like you dated someone who drank too much and was an asshole when he was drunk.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like some kind of earth-shattering, life-changing, traumatizing event that you need to talk about to the tune of $12 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is that like a sense of entitlement that it's like my story is worth more than the $12 million I was offered?
She genuinely thinks,
like,
actually, it like feels better to her. Like, she gets more of an endorphin rush from talking about a fight that she had with her boyfriend than $12 million appearing in her bank account.
I guess it's...
That's crazy. Unhinged.
Absolutely. I can't imagine turning down...
Like, man.
Okay, actually, no. My point was actually more that...
This is what he was trying to hide.
Like, the first story that you tell, if it's that bad, if it's worth turning down $12 million, the first story should be so awful that people can barely listen to it. Instead, this just sounds like every party I ever went to, and...
Right. Which doesn't excuse it. Like,
no, exactly. No, it doesn't excuse it, but people get drunk and do stupid shit.
He sounds like a nightmare to be around. But every time that I have known or been friends with a girl who is in a toxic relationship, it's generally because she wants to be in a toxic relationship, and that's actually fulfilling some type of need for her. You cannot stop someone from doing that.
There would have to be...
It's a lifestyle choice.
The stories must actually be way worse, but it's just weird that this was...
they better be.
I'm saying that, like,
for $12 million.
To turn down $12 million, the stories must get way worse. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here that she just poorly chose the first stories to go public, because they have to be way worse to justify, not taking that money.
But people are like, this makes me sick to my stomach. What a garbage human being. Like, don't listen to Zach Bryan's music anymore because he's a piece of shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Not like I'm a huge Zach Bryan fan, but if I like one of his songs, I'm not going to boycott his music over this. This is stupid.
It just seemed crazy to me that she's like, look, I got this story. I turned down $12 million. I can't be bought.
Right.
$12 million.
My integrity's on the line.
And then she's like, and then he said something.
He called my friend a loser and she started crying.
He said some stuff. Some other people said some stuff.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
He broke some glass.
Right? Now, as I said before, Dave Portnoy is going extremely hard against Zach Bryan to the point where he has released now 2 diss tracks.
Which we will not play because I think we
will not play them because Dave Portnoy is going to copyright us.
I do recommend checking
really
later because they're really bad in a really, really funny way.
Really just laughably bad. The first one was called Smallest Man, and the second one that came out yesterday is called Country Diddy.
Yeah.
They're likening Zach Bryan to P. Diddy, who has been accused of sex trafficking and multiple R words of children. That's what they're comparing Zach Bryan to.
I guess, look, I have no problem with Zach Bryan. I have no problem with Dave Portnoy taking her side. If he knows her.
This is a little bit overkill, though.
He should take her side on principle because he knows her and he doesn't know him. But in general, the songs were overboard. And to compare the stuff that Zach Bryan is accused of with the stuff that Diddy is accused of is patently insane.
Here are some of the lyrics. I think the only similarity between Zach Bryan and Diddy, and I'm sure many other people, is that they both asked former girlfriends to sign NDAs. That's literally it.
I think the funniest way that this could come out is when she talks about verbal abuse. It's revealed that she really hated his singing voice, and he would insist on singing to her at night.
Dave Portnoy wrote in his song, "You ruin people's lives, then hand out NDAs. I'm the one problem you can't pay to go away."
Anyways,
sorry, started again. Keep going.
And then calls him something. Wait, no. He's calling him Country Diddy. Steal another story, write another country ditty.
I can't.
If you tried 12 steps, you would get out of breath. That's kind of clever. Yeah, it
12 million.
Highly recommend you go listen to the song Country Ditty because it's just so bad it's good.
If anybody wants to call me a couple of you
definitely, as it's clear by now, you do not want Dave Portnoy on your bad side.
People in the chat have been mean to me today. I'm not asking for 12 million in compensation. Maybe you should. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should. All right, let's read some super chats. Not that John Stewart said, "I told you on X, I got you, Brett. You'll pay me back next week."
Yeah, dude. When look, when the paycheck hits my bank account, I got you back for the 3.5 million. Okay.
What's going on?
It was about the Tumblr, the Batmobile. Okay, I did see a really funny tweet that said some influencer you've never heard of with 80 gazillion followers is going to buy one of these and crash it into a pond, and it's going to get 10 zillion views. You're not going to know who any of them are.
Yep. Potatoes for Seamus said, "It's okay, Brett. We type slow for you to read better."
That's good.
That's
good.
very kind of you.
It doesn't work because I'm such a bad reader, but that's fine. I can laugh at myself for that. I'd be able to laugh at it more if I could read what you were saying.
Lysistrata.
Yeah.
Matt said, "I got 20 on it, friends." Oh, did you already read that one? Never mind. Big Dave said, "Love the widescreen shots and the acousticals." Something.
Good.
Glad you like it. V Wit said, "Sorry I'm late. Had to rewatch Freedom Tune newest."
I haven't watched it yet. Is it good? I know that Tim said that like one of Seamus's newest ones is his best one yet, but I haven't
Open the
watched it
salt
yet.
mines.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I told you last night, Brett, I'll spot you the 3 mil in a couple of months when Bitcoin goes to the moon. I'll spot Merido too. Bleach is expensive." It really is. I need some help.
Let's do one more.
V Wit said, "Much better lighting. Thank you. Add a front light to Mary."
The issue here right now is that where a front light would go for Mary is right in the way of where seat 2's camera would be. We could get a key light and put it on her table, but it's the shape of the room that does. Look, the funny thing is this is actually true where a lot of people in these situations are like, we need better equipment. I'm like, no, usually you just need to learn how to use your equipment better most of the time. And when we did the show on Monday, we had spent all the time getting the studio ready, and I had the stuff on auto settings, and I just had to go through today and manually set everything up. And it looks better, but we could get maybe one of those mini key lights and put on your table that we were using for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna improve over time, making tweaks to the set here and there.
In the chat says Brett should wear a headlamp. Yeah, just like
a headlamp. Well, we could just put something up here. I mean, whatever.
The best thing would be to do
it. Yeah, we do want lights mounted on the ceiling on the wall.
Because there is no natural light.
We blocked out the windows in here.
So let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back. All right.
It looks like Hollywood is determined not to beat those Satan-worshipping allegations because their latest offering in children's entertainment for this Christmas season is a movie called Dear Santa, where Santa is Satan. They just want children to love and idolize Satan and make him the icon of the Christmas season. That is their goal. So in this upcoming movie, Jack Black plays Satan instead of Father Christmas. This comes out on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it's not a theater release.
Tells the story of a young boy who writes a letter to Santa but accidentally sends it to the Lord of Darkness.
This is anti-dyslexia propaganda. That's what this is.
When a young boy mails his Christmas wish list to Santa with one crucial spelling error, a devilish Jack Black arrives to wreak havoc on the holidays.
You know what else it is? It's anti-technology propaganda, because you know what? This kid probably types everything on a cell phone that auto-corrects for him. He goes and writes a letter and makes this mistake.
From the hilarious
Be a
minds
Luddite.
behind Dumb and Dumber, Christmas is about to go up in flames. They say in the voiceover of the trailer that the boy is a crappy speller, so instead of the North Pole, it goes to Satan at the North Lope.
Okay, I guess we'll watch the trailer. If you're watching live, this will be cut out of the live
Yes.
show. You'll have to go and watch the segment, which we will leave it in. So here we go, guys.
Every Christmas, something magical happens.
Okay, before we go, this is going to be the worst interjection ever, but nowadays, because of the popularity of drones, right?
Yeah.
One of my problems is like they overdo drone shots. This looks like a really good, like well done helicopter shot at first. Now I thought, but now it looks like a drone. So a lot of shows these days, they're using these wide angle lens drone shots that just look cheap. Whereas back in the day,
would never have
they would
noticed
have
that.
to go up in helicopters to go and,
Yeah.
and shoot these scenes. Now I'm just like, please stop with the wide angle drone shots. In the first episode for like the NCIS origin show, there's like 30 of these horrible wide angle drone shots, and I'm like, whose idea was this shit?
It makes sense in NCIS.
For a television show, sure, fine, but nothing will beat a good helicopter shot. Just spend the money. All right, sorry, I'm done. Satanic. I'm gonna watch this.
So Jack Black is sort of playing this Beetlejuice-like character.
Yeah.
But instead of trying to take a child
He's even
bride,
kind of doing the voice.
what he's instead he's trying to corrupt this child. And one aspect that they get weirdly accurate about a demon is that they're very legalistic. So he was invited.
Gotta follow the contract.
He was invited inadvertently into this child's life, and now his goal is to steal the child's soul.
I recommend checking out, there was an episode of The Librarians about this town, this family that runs this unincorporated town, and they literally made a deal with the devil 100 years ago, and the whole episode is him basically pointing out fine print as they try to get away from him.
Weirdly accurate.
Yeah.
If you've read like C.S. Lewis's Screw Tape Letters, very much accurate to reality. But I think this is not a theme that should be in a children's movie. Okay. I know everyone is going to be so mad at me, but I don't think it's appropriate for a children's movie, especially because, you know, it's a Christmas movie, and I know as a Christian that the meaning of that holiday is lost on so many people, and it's not just because it was commercialized. It's not just being commercialized. There are so many movies about Santa as this character totally divorced from Christian mythology, but they've taken it a step further past just commercializing it, where now they're just completely twisting it into something, inverting the whole meaning of the holiday and the reason why this movie even exists in the first place. So it does actually bother me. Yeah, I don't think that children should watch things like this. Like it is inappropriate. And also the nuance is lost on them. They would end up imitating what they see the child do in the movie.
I take no offense to this, other than it looking kind of unfunny in places, and there being
Looks corny. That's for sure.
There was like I kind of liked the idea of the kid being an incorruptible soul and the devil being annoyed by that. If I had to choose between this and Santa Inc., I'm taking this every day of the week.
Oh yeah, that reminds
Santa
me.
Inc.
I
was-
never watched Santa Inc., but you have a burning hatred for Santa Inc.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because there is a level of snark and cynicism to Santa Inc. that is so blatant that I don't see in this trailer. Like, this just looks like bad comedy to me for the most part. Like,
Well, it's Jack Black. So.
I had no problems. Like, if it was with a better actor who was more relevant maybe than Jack Black, I would honestly probably be more inclined to watch this. But again, I'm excited to go watch Red 1, and nobody else wants to see that in the world but me. So it's funny because
This is the only movie that could make me Like, choose the lesser of two evils and watch Red One.
Christmas, and to be fair, Christmas Christmas episodes of shows are actually some of my favorite. Like I said, we've been watching Roswell, and they do a Christmas episode every year, and they're unbelievably syrupy and over the top, and I love every second of it. So I enjoy.
That's what they should be.
Yeah,
that's what they should be. And this, like it or not, this is cynical. This is a cynical take on a Christmas movie.
Well, I mean, what you see as cynicism, I just see as genre. I guess like it's attempting to use the comedy genre or aspects of the comedy genre in with a storyline that you would prefer that they didn't do that on. You'd prefer that they stayed more true to to what you believe in the material, right? Maybe tell a drama. I saw the trailer for Mary today. The Netflix Mary.
Yeah, you said there's a Netflix movie about Mary's conception of Jesus.
Yes.
Didn't see the trailer as you were watching it, but certainly there are a lot of people working on great things that I have no objections for. I mostly agree with a lot of these takes. Like, I'm seeing a lot of tweets about this, reacting to the trailer.
It just looks like corporate slop for me.
Well, it is that, definitely, but corporations are accountable for making content that children watch, and like that should be heavily criticized. This one take said, regardless of how you identify religiously, Satan in a children's movie is insane. Another one said, Hollywood, stop accusing us of being satanic PDF files. Now check out this kid's movie where the devil shows up in a child's bedroom and becomes his best friend. Another one said, Jack Black disgusts me in every way possible. He is obviously a filthy man. The fact that he is worth $50 million sickens me. He should be in utter destitute poverty.
Over the top and hyperbolic.
Another one said, a Christmas movie about Satan. What the hell is wrong with people? These Hollywood weirdos don't even hide their agenda anymore. Hell is a hot place, Jack Black. Be careful. Another one said, as a Christian, I'm so sick that they keep making horror movies demonizing the church while making lovable family movie where Satan's cool and by the end of the movie has a change of heart and saves the day and use Jack Black to sell it. It makes me sick.
Okay, there's an actual discussion to be had there, I suppose, about the inversion of those two ideas.
It's completely... that's why I say this is a cynical and nihilistic idea. Because what they're doing is inverting the whole idea that there is good and evil to begin with. Good is evil, evil is good. We're turning everything upside down. Nothing means anything.
So is the idea
no
here
one
that
can be even a villain.
If Satan,
villains aren't villains.
If Satan, well, actually, that's not true, guys. Because if you saw the season finale of The Penguin, you would understand that they finally figured out how to show you an irredeemable villain and not just try to make him an anti-hero. Sony, take lessons.
Most of the time, it doesn't go so well.
So if the idea is at the end of this movie that Satan has a change of heart, that's a bad thing because that's just not the truth. I guess I just don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm not religious. But.
Well, I could sit here and give you a whole theological explanation for why that's not true, but ultimately it doesn't matter because the reason that they would write a script like that is to turn on its head the entire idea that evil exists.
I mean, that goes to Hollywood's desire to constantly subvert expectations, right? They're like, what if we took this thing that was used to be this, but now it's this?
But it's most especially when they can get the eyes and ears of children that they go the most aggressively with these agendas. You can tell. That's why most of these examples of like characters being trans or non-binary or whatever, you see them in children's shows.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's just me, but I don't take it that seriously. But I'm just so used to Hollywood. Maybe I'm just numb to it now. That this type of Hollywood story is told over and over again. What year did Little Nicky come out? 99. I don't know. To me, the most offensive part is it just doesn't look all that funny. A waste of a Post Malone cameo.
Yeah, Post Malone, do better. Find better gigs. What is this?
Maybe I'll watch it and review it, and then Mary will be like, you cannot put that up on this channel. I'll like, put it up anyways.
I mean, I object to watching Red One.
Yeah.
So maybe I can let you have this one.
Fair enough. All right, let's do some super chats.
Okay, Weary Traveler said, my favorite crisis actor, Instructors. Have y'all seen The Penguin on HBO? And if so, what are your thoughts? Have you been caught up on that?
Yeah, season finale was crazy. I'm not going to spoil it for everyone, but I got to go back and rewatch it because I watched the 2 episodes leading up to the finale much less intently than I should have. But that finale was crazy. And everyone, if you have HBO Max... again, Hollywood, if we must live in a world where they're obsessed with making shows and movies about the villain characters, this is the best way to do that. They found a way by the end of this episode to rid you of any desire you might have to empathize with Oswald.
Did Breaking Bad do that for you with Walter White?
Like 5 seasons is very hard to not empathize.
Because people were standing until the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's like...
I wasn't.
But, like, 5 seasons is a long time to spend with a character to not empathize just a little bit.
That's not to say I didn't empathize, but people, like, actually thought he was doing the right thing.
Oh. I mean, the fact that you have to ask that question and you'll get different answers from different people meant that the showrunners did their job well.
Yeah.
I think. Because I don't know if you want to make him a complete villain by the end when you've spent 5 seasons on someone. I think that show's goal was more to make you ask the question.
I'm just going to say Skylar hadn't done anything wrong up until the point where she cheated on him. She didn't do anything wrong until she cheated on him.
Yeah.
And I might get a ton of backlash for saying that. I don't care. It's the truth. Mr. Joker said, Mary, who's your top picks to banish to the crystals? It would make for sick jewelry like a classic Disney villainess. Wait, what is this? I've seen this meme about like trapping people in crystals. Do you know what this means?
I saw something about it during election week, but I haven't kept up on it.
Like it was in Seamus's post-election cartoon, but I didn't understand it.
By the way, there was an Office Space reference yesterday that I didn't point out during the show, and I saw somebody leave a comment about it.
And you felt seen.
I felt seen.
Validated.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Tim Stout said, "Put a crisis on."
Well, we're almost to a 3rd crisis party, so that's up to you. You guys have control over getting a crisis put on, but also if you want Mary to wear the Handmaid's Tale outfit, you got to get to 10. You're a long ways off.
I guess you don't.
It's a lot of crisis parties.
Ohm the Poet said Wikidia Tirana 2.
Sounds great.
That's Wicked, Gladiator, and Moana together. Yeah. Boy, am I excited. You know, Wicked is only a part 1, right? Wicked's a part 1 of 2.
And they were saying that they want to do a 3rd one as well.
They're both 3 hours long. Shane H. Wilder said Denzel is 69.
Okay, so he's almost 70.
I didn't know that. The Manic Mustache said late as usual, but apropos to Men's Health Month. Is that a thing?
I didn't know that.
What emotion is evoked when you hear 2 people behind you talking in an unfamiliar language and then start laughing? Stay toxic, my friends.
I hope whatever they said about me was funny.
But see, you already know that they were talking about you.
Maybe that's more a sign of your own narcissism and paranoia. Yeah. If you're like, what do you like? Why do you think they're talking about you? What makes you so interesting?
Every time that I go to a nail salon and they're speaking Vietnamese, I just assume they're talking shit.
They're just talking shit.
And I'm just like, whatever, fine. Yeah. I'm gonna tip you anyway. I don't care. VWit said, "Make Ghost Girl great again." I feel insulted. What happened? Am I not great anymore?
Ghost Girl is great every day.
What happened? Mr. Moose Knuckles said, "Has anyone checked on Mark Hamill lately? He's been real quiet since the election. LOL." Yeah, what's he up to?
Him more than anybody.
He's still in the country?
Should be quiet.
VWit said World War II Russians has had vodka mandates to make men fight. They had like rations. Sounds pretty effective.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Junkie said the Robbie story reinforces my UFO theory. They're not abducting people. They're dropping people off. We are in the intergalactic loony bin. That's a great theory, and I've never heard it before, but I'm going to go with that now.
I would be more inclined to just say that you got the internet on your phone and it drove people insane.
Well, maybe some mix of both.
Maybe.
VWit said, you don't have to care, you just have to be pretending. Mary Morgan, 2024. I like yours better.
What?
Suffer in silence and die young.
I didn't say die young. I said suffer in silence and die.
No, you definitely
Did I
said
say
die
young?
young. Yes,
Yeah, well,
you most definitely
I didn't mean
young.
the dying, and I'm only being mildly hyperbolic. But mainly my point is, like, you know, did somebody say something mean to you? Boo-hoo.
Suffer in silence and die young. Shane H. Wilder said, breaking news, Santa just announced on X that Brett and Mary are on the nice list this year. I retweeted it. Way to go, guys. No Cole this year. Let's go. We were such good podcasters this year.
We just bought stockings for the
Actually, we literally have a fireplace.
Yeah.
In this studio. You can't see it because of Brett's backdrop, but there is an actual fireplace, and we should like hang our stockings.
Maybe
when
we get closer to Christmas, I'll remove the backdrop and we'll use the fireplace. That would be
so vibey.
It would be.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the word earlier about the celebrities?
What?
You were like, it was like something about the actors, and they were like, it was a description of them. Do you remember that?
A buzzy cast. I wasn't gonna go see Gladiator 2, but now you've told me it has a buzzy cast.
Yeah, it's buzzy.
So that changed my mind immediately.
There's a 20 there.
Art in the Machine said, been watching since the pre-Mary days and finally catching you live. I wanted to shout out my latest song, World on Fire, and upcoming song, Heroes. This album has been a dream and would love more feedback. My words, AI's voice.
Ooh, I wonder which AI you used for that. Like, which of the voices did you use for that?
AI music kind of scares me, but
I love
shout out. Thank you for your first ever super chat, by the way. I'm glad we finally convinced you.
Thank you so much. One of my favorite genres of music is Kanye AI acoustic songs.
Same.
Acoustic covers.
I mean, you kind of like introduced me to that.
I kid you not, there is a Kanye West acoustic cover of Call Me Maybe that is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And it's actually like soulful, which is the creepy part. Yeah. VWit said Taylor said she would no longer tour in red states. When did she say that? Did she really?
I don't remember that ever being. If somebody can link me to that.
I have no memory of that, but I just know she had like a run-in with Marsha Blackburn back in like 2020.
It just doesn't seem real to me.
I never heard that. Weary Traveler said, my personal theory is that we don't have a universal enemy like the USSR, so everyone has to be an activist for something since the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll actually, okay, so I used to believe that, but now the problem is the way that information is disseminated, you will never have a unifying front the way that America did. I'm not even talking about the USSR or the Cold War, post 9/11, right? Like, look at what's going on with Israel and Gaza. You're not going to see that united front again, mainly because back then that united front was presented to you by 4 major news networks that got to decide what America was presented like to the rest of the world. And there is a bit of a yearning for maybe a time when the narrative was simpler. I had a post the other day about how I said my favorite. I said I love CIA, Hollywood CIA propaganda more than any other type of propaganda, and I meant it literally. I'm like, it's my favorite. Like the idea of the selfless American patriot who gives up the white picket fence life so that you and I can have it, rather than the fact that it's just a bunch of, you know, NGOs and unelected bureaucrats who decide what the American interests are, which rarely has anything to do with the good of the American people and a hell of a lot more to do with the American military-industrial complex and big business and their interests. I love that idea. I love the story of the selfless American patriot that works for the CIA or the NSA, even if I know that it's not true. even if I know that it's a simplistic idea of something that's far more complex. The problem is that you have to have an interest in also knowing what the real thing is to be able to separate yourself from that. If you want good examples, I said that Covert Affairs is a great example of great American CIA propaganda.
It was a good show.
Yes, it was.
No matter what anyone says. Thank you. Not that Jon Stewart said Kathy Griffin got fired from CNN for the Trump head joke.
Yeah.
How did she win? Yeah, I actually was surprised at the time that she lost as many opportunities as she did at the height of TDS. But
yeah,
given that it was kind of an incitement to violence, that changed it.
Yep.
I was surprised that she didn't get more praise for it now. I mean, I'm sure in retrospect she does. But yeah, she's never going to be doing New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper again.
We should there should be a mandate.
Big loss for the culture.
Everybody who hosts some like New Year's Eve show should have to be drunk. They should not be able to do it sober.
That was the appeal.
I know.
Yes.
That's the whole point. Like, I don't want sober I have to be sober. That's fine. I don't want the people who are doing the television version of it to be sober. I want them to be able to drink.
V. Witt said the lighting gives Mary pink hair, making her look like a, what is this? Yangere form? One of my favorite animes. It's left me speechless like the book from Michael Knowles. Also, put a girl on.
Perfect.
We'll work on that. Yeah. Super Guy, already read that one. V. Witt said, fat thumbed that super chat. Yeah, I can tell you didn't spell anything right.
That's okay.
Does it actually look like I have pink hair, though? I don't think so.
It's got a pink hue to it.
I had pink hair at one point.
Oh.
It looked terrible. Yeah. It looked really bad. Skateman 2010 said, so did the quartering just become AEW to your WWE?
I have no idea
what does
what
that
means. I have no idea what that means.
Kobe McGuire said, welcome back, guys. Missed y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was actually really encouraging to see the amount of people who were like sending messages saying like, don't know what to do without you guys. I have to work with no background noise. Nobody in history has ever been more proud to be background noise for another person than
At
me.
least we're some missing part of their lives.
Yes. Yep.
That's Rodeo. Said, I don't have a reason. I'm just a hater.
Okay.
I respect it.
That's okay.
V. Witt said, I think my new goal, make Mary say all the anime terms through Super Chat. Yandere was the first isekai. Kawaii is that just Barak?
Yep.
Tsundere, otaku, harem.
Okay.
I don't know if I said any of those right. Well, I said some of them right. Zach said, you guys need to flip which camera is on the left and right when you have an article in the middle because you guys are looking towards the edge of the screen instead of at each other.
Oh, I'll have to move our shots, I guess, and put... Yeah, but the thing is people used to get really mad when I would put, and I kid you not, when I was on the... if I'm on the right, because they would say that spiritually I'm not kidding you right now. Somebody said like Mary is the right wing person, so she should be on the right. That was a comment we got once.
Wait, pull up the article thing again. You are looking at it though. You're looking at it.
Yep. Now
I'm looking away, but you're looking at it.
So you'd have to move your laptop to the other side.
I'm so not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. We try to accommodate.
It's the little things. Yep. Corey Anderson said, just have Kellen hold a light on Mary. Yeah, easy.
I'm sure he has nothing better to do at that time.
Dull and Tired said, Christianity is full of pagan symbols. Get over it. If you ask Aiden Mattis of the Lore Lodge about that, I'm sure he will have a go-off moment.
We need Aiden back.
We do. Shane H. Wilder said, I actually agree with Mary. Trying to make Satan a semi-likable Beetlejuice character is worse than cringe. I wouldn't watch it. Yeah, it just doesn't grant it the seriousness that I think it deserves. If you don't believe that Satan exists, obviously I wouldn't expect you to have a problem with it. If you do believe that Satan exists, then yeah, you should have a problem with it, and not let your kids watch that.
Yeah.
V-Wit said BTW, Mary is definitely a tsundere, not a yandere. Okay.
The anime fans will know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Waffle Sensei said, Brett the Penguin, no spoilers, but I just need you to know that I knew Oz would do that from episode 1. It was the perfect show.
Yeah, like, here's the thing, guys. If you want to see a perfect organic example of getting an audience to care about more than one character and just really good writing, the memes and the GIFs that are going around about the finale of The Penguin prove the influence the show has had. Not to mention the fact that it was #1 on Samba every week that it was out, absolutely killing it in the ratings. So unfortunately, I think what this means is we're going to get more of these villain origin stories of different characters. And unless you get that same the lady who wrote it, I think, I don't know if she wrote all the episodes herself or did the show running, but Matt Reeves is getting all the credit. Unless you get that writing team back to do all of them, you're going to have to find actors that are just as good as Colin Farrell is to do, who did the Penguin. I know that they're talking about doing a Barry Keoghan Joker, because of his cameo at the end of the Batman. Stay away from the Joker.
What?
You don't need to do it. I would rather.
There was a Barry Keoghan cameo at the end of.
Yep, at the end of the Batman as the Joker in Arkham.
Seriously?
Yep.
I totally forgot about that.
I would rather what they did, if they wanted to lean more into trying to make their own version of a villain anti-hero story, would be to not do the Deathstroke and Bane movie or whatever they're doing, and just do an 8-episode Deathstroke series about about Slade Wilson becoming Deathstroke.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you saying Deathstroke. I just remember this one time you were talking about Deathstroke, and everyone in the chat was just clowning on you.
Why?
Saying that it's gay.
Why? Deathstroke rules.
Because it has the word stroke in it.
Well, just because they're losers doesn't mean I can't like the character.
I'm not saying
Sorry,
that at all.
I will say Slade Wilson because our chat doesn't have a brain sometimes.
We all have our moments.
Yes.
Okay. I totally forgot about the Barry Keoghan thing.
Yeah, the end of the
I was
movie.
just too distracted by the Riddler. Which actor was that?
Paul Dano.
I don't know who directed him to do this, but he was like moaning to himself through the entire movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
But like in a mentally R-worded way?
Yeah.
Is that like on purpose? That's
Yes,
the character?
it was on purpose for him.
Okay. Okay. Jose Quintana said the Penguin is a masterpiece. Good afternoon, Ghost Empress and Optical Overlord. By the way, keep in mind that Lucifer is the most powerful of God's creation. Long live PCC. I mean, maybe Mary is more powerful, but yes, I understand what you're trying to say.
Maybe we could adjust it and they could go back to Deathstroke's original name, which was Deathstroke the Terminator. Does that sound more?
Is it more heterosexual?
Is that more heterosexual to not be
super straight?
Look, I'm not Deathstroking. I'm Deathstroke the Terminator. Okay, I'm not jerking off. That's what he's saying. I'm not jerking off till I die.
Death Goon. It's not that funny.
Death gooning.
Stop laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Who needs the Riddler when you can have the Rizzler and Death Goon?
Yeah. It doesn't even rhyme. So dumb. V-Wit said, we're working on the 3 no desire to see Mary and HMT.
What? Like, yeah.
What is that?
The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't really desire to see myself in a Handmaid's Tale costume either. High Voltage 75 said new studio tour when?
This is your studio tour.
There's not a lot to tour. It's just basically a room.
I still think we should do, if they wanted to do a skit, they should do a skit where somebody like pretends to take the Cybertruck and just leave.
I'll do it. I volunteer as tribute. I'll take it and go to the Taco Bell drive-thru.
You get Mr. Fluffykins and you throw him in the passenger seat and you take off in the Cybertruck.
V-Wit said, boys, we got a hostage party going. Let's go.
Let's go.
Not quite, but we're close. Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, Agenda 47, keep your dogs and cats close, but keep the dog and cat eaters closer.
At first, I thought this said Agent 47, like the Hitman video games.
Skateman 2010 sent us 99 cents without a message. Thank you. Or I'm sorry, that was Big Dave.
Yeah.
Skateman said, took your free agents as soon as you let them go.
Oh, I think he's referring to the stuff about the quartering.
Oh. Yeah, well, you can go talk about that on the Quarterings channel. V-Wit said, maniacal laughter making PCC talk about anime. I mean, we aren't just... It's not like we have some kind of antagonism toward anime. Like, it'll come up if it comes up.
Well, okay, so it's kind of like when people...
Neither of us are anime people.
It's kind of like when people get mad when I don't recognize the Office Space quote right off the bat because I'm in the middle... Like, I'm literally trying to, like, run the show, and it just doesn't click in my brain because I've seen Office Space maybe 5-6 times, and the last time is several years ago. And I'm like, look, I'm like, you give me a Wayne's World quote, I'll remember it right off the bat right away. But you don't always remember everything right when you hear it. So it'd be really funny to do a thing where you just like, if Superchats were in the real world and you're just doing something and somebody just comes in and drops a line to you that you're supposed to remember, but you're in the middle of doing something, so you don't.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty funny. If we had the vlog channel still.
Yep.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said the Rizzler and Death Goon coming next fall to Max.
I would watch it. I would watch it.
I'm never going to call it Max, though.
All right.
Is there
we got one more from DCNC. It's a poop emoji.
Thank you so much.
Rude. All right,
that was
guys.
Really edifying.
Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you. Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. There's actually one more super chat here. There's two more there.
Oh, I just don't see them.
High Voltage 75 says, "Who will be season 2's first guest host?" That's a good question. I don't know. We'll have to maybe Phil on Thursday.
We might have an idea. No, I think it's gonna be Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one more there.
Art in the Machine. I tried out Udio at first, but ended up with Suno.
More anime.
What?
All right, guys.
I don't know.
Before we go, again, hit the like button on this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. If you would like to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch. You can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so please go over there and do that for us. 5 stars only. We don't want you to give us less than that. I encourage you to lie, even if you don't love us. And if you... What?
Phil has an eye infection?
Oh, I did not know that.
One Eye Phil? That's what they're calling him? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We'll get him an eye patch.
That's a good idea.
That's
we'll
a
ask
vibe.
Dan Crenshaw to borrow an eye patch.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, War Pig, give us a...
Oh, my goodness. Dan Crenshaw, don't cut for us.
That's awesome. Yeah. One more there from Gordon Shumway. Says, Wayne's World, you need to come up with a Scooby-Doo ending. So I actually talked to someone recently who had never seen Wayne's World, and they were shocked by the fact that Rob Lowe is in that movie, and he pretty much looks the same now as he did in 1992. He's kind of like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, adrenochrome don't crack.
Yeah. Yeah, he pulls the mask off. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo. There you go. Scooby-Doo ending. One more there. DCNC
really?
says, Phil T1000.
Is that true? I need to go check if these rumors are true, but RIP if so.
Social media, guys, at popculture_show. Facebook and TikTok, not on TikTok anymore, at Pop Culture Crisis. Instagram, at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.